Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we are taking a look at an exercise that is super valuable for posture, as an assistance to your power lifts, and just for general strength. Something that I've been programming a lot for my clients lately, and something that I've been getting a lot of questions on. And that is the Pendlay Row, or the dead stop row. So what we're gonna do is load up the bar a little bit and go over some details that might help you get the most out of this exercise. All right, y'all, so the first thing that you wanna note, as like with any row variation, just because you can do a bunch of weight doesn't necessarily mean that you should right off the bat. Obviously, you can get pretty aggressive with your rows, but not at the expense of technique. Otherwise, you know, you're just kind of wasting time, and nobody really cares how much weight that you row. So when it comes to the Pendlay Row, you can kind of approach it in a similar kind of way that you would a deadlift. Feet somewhat neutral through the hips, hands obviously slightly wider than what you would probably grip for a conventional deadlift. Main thing to keep in mind is to keep the wrists straight and to lead back with the elbows. So some details there that you may have seen maybe a little bit different from some other tutorials is that I kind of pump the hips in a similar way that some people get set up for a deadlift. And by the time I actually generate tension through my hips, the bar itself is either almost or actually floating just a little bit up off the ground. This is so that you can pre-tense the lats, set the back position, and have the hips and hamstrings engaged before you actually start the row. So I'll just do a couple of reps here from the side so you can kind of see how I set that back and hip position. And there you can see, even though the reps may be a little bit fast, they're still under control, making contact, and then controlling the weight back down to the ground. By pausing and letting the weight rest on the ground between every rep, you're sparing fatigue in the low back, and you're keeping that focus here in the lats and the upper back. So for you powerlifters out there, you can almost think about the Pendlay Row as the reverse of a bench press. So whatever might be a somewhat, moderately wide or neutral style bench press, that's probably about the width that you want to use here on your row. Of course, in the same way that you want to lead with the elbows, keep the forearm and the wrist straight. It's obviously all the same ideas and cues here for the Pendlay Row. So that just about does it. Obviously, keep your gaze and your neck somewhat neutral. Pinch the shoulder blades back. Be conservative with your weight. Always use good form, and enjoy.